Our next inductee is Sheon Nix. He's being inducted in the category of athlete and community member. He is being presented for induction by his brother, Frederick Jordan. Sheon made an impact while attending Sandusky High School. He excelled in the classroom as well as athletically. He demonstrated great leadership ability in his involvement with the school and in community activities. He was obviously a great role model, not only for his peers, but for the entire community. Fast forward 15 years, and Sheon Nix is still making an impact on Sandusky High School and the Sandusky community. I'll let his brother Fred tell you about that. Fred?
Good evening, everybody. First of all, I want to give a couple thank yous out today. First of all, I want to thank everyone for coming out today, this evening, to honor and enjoy all of the inductees tonight. I also want to give a shout out to and thank you to all of the teachers, because without the teachers being who they are in their knowledge and education, none of this would be possible. And to the coaches. Coaches, you were like father to all of us, because I played as well. And without your knowledge of the game, your caring and understanding of each student, we wouldn't be here today. So I want to thank you all as well. Also, I want to give a special thanks to two ladies, my younger sister, Pamela Jordan, and my mother, Catherine Nix. Without you two, I want to start with speaking a little bit about my sister. You missed a lot of things, and I'll, harp a little bit on what you missed. I went away, and I went away to serve this beautiful country in the Navy, and while I was gone, you had to take responsibility of making sure that our little brother, he ate while my mom was working to provide for us. You had to make sure that he had his homework done, he was home when the street lights came on, because we all know, her nickname is Bruiser, and it's for a reason. And she ruled with an iron fist. She kept him in line while Mom was away, and I was away. So, Pam, I salute you. I thank you, and I love you. And my mother, Catherine Nix. Man, what can I say? She said today, this means so much. This is happening around Mother's Day weekend. And that's her always thinking about good things that happen for a reason. And Mom, if it wasn't for you and your strength, and your caring soul, because everybody knows Miss Nix. Even, as she attended the games, she was always there at my games. She was always there at my brother Shank's games, and that's his nickname for Shank, for those of you who don't know. But if you attended any of our games and his games, you will know her, because she was the one that stood out. She was the one, and everybody's laughing, know what I mean when I say this. She stood out. You can hear her voice. No matter who we played, what team it was, you always heard Miss Nix. Not only rooting for her son, but she rooted for Sandusky High School. She got that soul, and she will always be rooting for us. And all of the students, she treated them as they were hers. So I thank you, and I salute you, Mom. I love you. Now, let me speak a little bit about my little baby brother. You know what that means when he come up here, okay? Because I'm the oldest, but he's big. I'm very proud of him. I missed a lot of years, serving in the military, but I always had letters. I've always, had letters from my friends telling me how good he was. But see, I already knew how good he was going to be. But what I'm most proud of him is not only as an athlete, but as a member of this community. My brother lives in Chicago, but he's never forgotten where he's come from. he's always involved in the community. He's always trying to come up with ideas to keep our community safe, headed in the right direction, and he's always looking out for the youth. That's what I'm so proud of. And, you know, you guys have some things that you can look at and kind of get a feel of his accomplishments. I want to go over a few things that may not be in the forms that you all have in front of you. Now, I do want to give you a little bit of history on him. Now, when he was little, you know, I'd come home from football practice with my helmet, my shoulder pads, and we see me pull up as a little guy. As soon as I get in the house or in the driveway, he would grab my helmet, my shoulder pads, put them on, and run all through the house, banging them against the walls, making all types of noises. We couldn't watch television because he was banging against the walls. He had a little basketball with a little net in the washroom. If he wasn't banging it against the walls with the helmet, he would have a little Nerf ball. All night, playing basketball in the washroom. You can hear him. Oh, Michael Jordan, I mean, by himself, all night. That's him. He would do that. He would go outside. We didn't have a basketball hoop, but he had crates, milk crates, that he would stack up and had a little Nerf ball, shooting in the driveway. Then next thing you know, all the neighborhood guys would come and shoot in the crates for basketball. You know, little things that he did. So I knew from him giving my equipment every day, or running around the house banging, you know, I knew he was going to be a basketball player. I knew he was going to be a football player. I just knew it. He grew up in that world. In high school, this is what impresses me as your brother the most about you and your accomplishments. And this is something that you have to think about. No tardies for school or any classes all 4 years. 4.0 grade point average all 4 years. National Honor Society. 3-year academic letterman. 2 times class president his junior and senior year. Black Achievers member. Ranked 5th in the class of 2000 out of 278 in the graduating class. Principals, honor roll all grade periods during the high school career. And just to show you how dedicated he was to his schoolwork, my grandmother, she passed away in Mississippi. It's a funny, quick, funny story. And my mother, I was in the military, I couldn't attend. But my mother, it was an 18, 19-hour drive, coming back. And he did not want to be tardy for school. So when they got back this Monday morning, my mom said, I'm going to fix you breakfast and I'm going to take you to school. He first said, all right. So mom went in the kitchen, cooking breakfast. My brother went in, took a shower, got dressed, kept bugging my mom. Come on, Mom, I'm going to be late. I'm going to be late for school. Come on. Oh, don't worry about it. I'm cooking. You're gonna get there. You're already excused. He goes back in the room, watch a little TV, come back, looking at his clock. So he didn't go back to my mom. He just went on out the door, ran to school, was never late. My mom, what? He was already gone. That's how dedicated he was to not wanting to be late or tardy for a class. And that's what I'm proud of, is because it's dedication to his work at a young, early age. And that carried on throughout high school, college. That's what I'm most proud of. And of course, you can't forget the community's work. Proud of the community work. I mean, to always never forget where you're coming from, that says something, because these kids now will remember this night. If they're here tonight, they'll remember that. And they remember what we're saying about these inductees tonight. And that'll carry on into their lives and give them something to look forward to. So, with that being said, I want to thank you all for coming out. And this is a very humble moment. And I just thank my brother for being the person that you are, because Even though I'm older, I learned a lot from you. I will continue to learn a lot from you. And it's my honor to present you with this award tonight. So come on, Shane, get your award.
Move it 1 second. Wow, what a night. Just like DeAndre did, first and foremost, I gotta thank God for the many blessings that He provided me throughout my life. And this privilege of standing here before you today as an inductee is one of the many I can truly be thankful for. I also want to thank those who nominated me, and the entire selection committee who believed in my contributions in the form of academics, athletics, and service to SHS. And the city of Sandusky, throughout my career, deemed me worthy enough to enter this sought-after Hall of Fame. It is a privilege and an honor to be a member of the 2015 induction class. So many remarkable Blue Street greats, many of whom that I admired, I've imitated, and I respected my entire career. And many more who I don't know personally, but I mean all of their stories, their contributions, and their path to this Hall of Fame. Throughout my career, I've earned many awards, recognitions, and honors. But this one right here, this one's special. And one of the reasons this one's, one of the reasons this one is so special is the simple fact that I didn't get to continue my athletic career. See, due to a knee injury, I didn't get to have that college football career like fellow inductee Leandre Moore, or that college basketball career like future Hall of Famer Ossian Reddy. I didn't get to play in the NBA like Scott May, and I didn't get to play in the NFL like Orlando Pace. See, my path, and when it comes to my career, pretty much ended as I was leaving the playing service here at SHS. That's what makes this one so special. But when it comes to my path to this Hall of Fame, it started years before I stepped one foot into the high school. It actually started when I was as a little boy growing up on Hancock and Reese. You know, my admiration and interest in sports, it didn't come from watching Michael Jordan in the NBA or Jerry Rice in the NFL. It came from watching my sister Pamela Jordan play basketball and volleyball. It came from watching my brother and his friends practice and play basketball, football, and run track. It came from all those guys in my neighborhood who talked about, argued, and debated about their favorite teams, their favorite players, who they try to imitate on the basketball court and football field. See, being around so many people who played sports, loved sports, talked about sports, and sometimes fought over sports, turned my initial admiration and appreciation into a passion and love of my own. But what I fell in love with may not be what you think. I didn't actually fall in love with sports. What I fell in love with and what I still love to this day is the power of sports. I fell in love with how sports created the opportunity for you to dream and to travel and to start conversations and to network. I fell in love with how sports had the power to break down racial, social, and economic boundaries. I fell in love with all the life lessons that you can learn in sports that you can apply to everyday life, like hard work, dedication, commitment, perseverance, how to celebrate victories, but also how to overcome defeats. I love the power of sports and how like the sports figures were just so, they were imitated, respected, and loved. And I just wanted to be one of those people. I wanted to be one of the players that the coaches wanted to coach, players wanted to play with, fans wanted to cheer for, and people just wanted to be around. I wanted to make my city and everybody in it proud. And after it's all said and done, I wanted to be considered one of the best that ever did it from and for the city of Sandusky, the city I love. And the evidence is that it's my basketball number 4, my football number of 19, our area code 419. But another thing that I fell in love with and played a huge role when it comes to sports and why I'm up here today is that vision of how being a student athlete can one day get put in a position to get a great education and one day reach a level of success where I can support my family. See, that's the reason I work so hard in the classroom first and on the playing surface next. See, I'm being inducted today in the Hall of Fame due to the wins, the stats, and the records that my teammates and I accumulated over our career, that the selection committee felt that was great enough for me to be in this Hall of Fame. But the numbers, that's not what sticks out to me. It's all the memories that were created. And all the people who played contributing roles throughout my journey. The memories of watching Tracy Schumo, Corey Kroon, Leandre Moore, Therese Robinson, Wayne Durr, and Darcel Irby make highlights out there on Strobel Field. The memories of catching those little footballs that the cheerleaders used to throw out and going home and jumping in my mom's bed and visualizing myself diving in the end zone. Or me drinking all the milk in the house just to put coins in the milk jugs to make noise as I cheered on the class of '89 trying to make their way down the state. Or how can you forget the powerful dunks of Jared Williams? Or the tenacious D of DeMar Moore, Terrell Green? Or the prolific scoring of future Hall of Famer Deshae Jones? I'm gonna say that one more time. The future Hall of Famer Deshae Jones. Or going out to eat with my mom for my very first basketball game as a sophomore starter, and her telling me, don't be nervous, just go out there and play your game. What she didn't tell me was all Ohio candidate Floyd Campbell would cross me over to the point where I almost had to ice my ankles at the end of the game. Or those spirit bags that the cheerleaders made, or the pregame meals that you secretly hated, but I guarantee y'all wish we had some of those cheese breads and those milk, some of those orange drinks to take home tonight. Or watching Mark Wooten rush for almost 300 yards against Toledo Bowser. And how can you forget the epic sold-out basketball games in the Big House against Joe Heidelberg, Steve Daggs, Reggie Jones from Fremont, and looking up in the stands and seeing NFL players such as Charles Wilson, Jonathan Wells, and our very own Orlando Pace coming to watch us, these high school guys, do work on the basketball court. Or Brock Alexander yelling out water every time he shot a jumper because his J was that wet. Or the ref stopping the game in the first half against Sheon our senior year because my man John Ferris just reached the 1,000-point club. Or the memories of standing in the basketball locker room right before the game, and you hear the entire Big House yelling, street ball, repeatedly. Or let's go over to the other side, to the football locker room, and you touch the sign as you walk through the man-made tunnel of people who just want to touch your helmet and shoulder pads, just to say good luck. Or that epic game that I was a part of, probably one of the best games I've ever been a part of. It didn't happen at Strobel Field. It didn't happen at the Big House. It happened at J.C. Park. It was probably the entire city of Sandusky who was out there. They're watching me, Ronnie, Brock, Brooks, and Brandon beat the Sandusky greats of Terrell Green, Deshae Jones, Paul Moore, Darvio, and Jared Williams. And when Brandon hit that last shot, I promise we turned into like instant rock stars that day. Or the final game of my high school basketball career where we lost to Mansfield and I could barely run or jump or cut due to a knee injury. See, these are the memories that stick out to me and make this night so special. And there's so many people who played roles in helping me get here. Like my guy over there, Roger Loftus, who we grew up in the same neighborhood, who used to throw the football to me every day. And I would catch it. I used to catch every one of them. And I didn't catch it because I was a great receiver. I didn't even catch it because I was a good receiver. I caught it because I didn't want the ball to hit my face and embarrass me in front of the guys out there or the girls I was trying to impress. Or my cousin Wayne Young, who took me on all those unofficial trips to Ohio State. All those trips to Ohio State. Or, taking me to Northwestern for the first time. He used to talk all these stories about what him and the guys used to do back on the court. He used to call out 1,000,000 names. And to this day, I don't know half of the people he was talking about. But I just so appreciate him taking time out of his life to enhance mine. Or my cousin Coaston and my cousin Elaine's boyfriend Darnell took me to all those Indians games and Cavs games. Just that experience, them taking time out of their life to enhance mine, or to just escape my neighborhood just for only a couple hours. And to Maurice Kirksey, he's not here tonight, but this is the young man who actually taught me the sport of basketball and all those tips I used throughout my career. Tips of never giving an opponent too much credit, no matter how good they are, because the game's mental. Or if you wear church socks underneath your white socks, the feeling you get just gives you an edge on the court. This man used to make me put my left hand in my pocket and dribble my right hand for hours up and down Reed Street. Or he used to give me those little bouncy balls that you get off the gumball machine. And he used to tell me that if you can dribble and control one of these, basketball is easy. Or two, Chad Kahn's dad, Jerry, who signed me up for this basketball league in the 6th grade at Bay Winds. This man picked me up every week for 2 whole seasons because our family couldn't afford the car at the time. I thank you for that. And so my little guy who couldn't be here today, who was like a son to me, Calvin Randleman. This guy was like a puppy around my legs my entire career. But he admired me, he respected me, and he looked up to me so much, he just forced me to be a better role model. And I'm pretty sure my teammates probably wouldn't throw him in the locker, because I was the only person he used to bring candy and Gatorades to during practice and during the games. So Miss Collins, she used to make food for us week in and week out. Even our junior year, we went 1-9. You must either loved us or felt sorry for us, but I thank you for those meals. And to one of my high school basketball coach who couldn't be here today, Coach Fagan, I just called him a couple weeks ago and let him know how much I just thanked him for all the things he's done for us and creating these new opportunities and experience for us. You know, he was playing a father figure in our life when many of us, our fathers, were playing limited roles. So the experience of just hanging out at his house and playing shooting pool or eating snacks or being out on his boat on the lake or being on the jet skis, these were new experiences for us. So I just had to let him know I thank him for that. So my football teammates and coaches, I thank you all for everything you ever done for me. I miss those days on the football field or the practice field. From the practice of the game, we had a blast. Aaron, Mark, Jimmy, Jermaine, Bronte, Paulie, Rose, Kelly, Gibson, and the list goes on and on. But I do have a question. How in the world did we go 1-9, the worst record in Sandusky High School history? Whoa! And speaking of, and to my basketball teammates, Chaz here, I don't know if I have any other teammates, but I can't even call you guys teammates. You are and always will be like brothers to me. I mean, what a ride we had. I love going to war with you guys and going out and battling teams versus like Emerald King, Lima Senior, Camp McKinley, Mansfield, and those powerhouse teams in Toledo. And definitely can't forget Fremont. I wouldn't want to go to war with anybody else on that court except for you guys. Quinn, Locks, Old Williamson, Cotton, and to my Hayes Ave boys who are not here today, Brock, Ronnie, Brooks, Dino Presley, and our unofficial agent, Prince Hampton. And speaking of Hayes Ave, in high school I had a coach who used to always talk about and talk down on Hayes Ave. You know, whether it's a practice or a game, he'd always say, that's how you guys think about it, Hayes Ave. That's all you guys are focused on Hayes Ave. What that coach failed to realize is Hayes Ave was bigger than any basketball game we ever played in. Hayes Ave was filled with a whole bunch of 13 to 17-year-old young men who were dealing with tough issues in our homes, our schools, and our community, and just the ups and downs of life. And for many of us, we were just trying to survive, and we used basketball as a positive outlet to overcome those obstacles we were facing, or at least forget about it until the game was over. So I'm hoping that coach, after all these years, understand that Hayes Ave was and always will be bigger than any basketball game that we've ever played in. See, these are just a few of the many people who've had a direct and indirect role in my life and in my career. So, last two people. Sorry, I went a little longer, but last two people, and I definitely had to say these, the best two for last, is as I was leaving high school and transitioning to Northwestern, I had a severely torn lateral meniscus that became a career-ending injury. And as I was in that hospital bed getting prepared for a transplant, I wasn't thinking about the possibility of losing my scholarship or the possibility or the thoughts of my NBA, NFL career shattering. I was actually thinking about how I felt like I let my city down because I couldn't play anymore. So the pressure that I put on myself, along with the academic rigors of Northwestern, not being able to play, some legal troubles with some of my closest friends, the financial strains of our family, I literally was ready to give up and throw in the towel. But right at that moment, God placed one of the best gifts I've ever had in my life. The gift of a light-skinned Mexican girl from the south side of Chicago named San Juan, whose path to success supersedes mine by far. God placed her a few tables over for me during lunch at Elder Hall back in 2000. And since that day, at the age of 18, when I was ready to throw in the towel, this person has become one of the biggest motivators and supporters, and that saved my life. She couldn't be here tonight, but before I left, I had to let her know I thank her and that I'm forever indebted to her. And lastly, you gotta stand up, Mom. You gotta stand up. You are my rock, my heart, my soul. I love you for being you. You are one of the most dedicated, committed, hardest working people I know and one of the biggest sports fans I know. I can probably count on one hand the number of games you missed my entire career. I love you for always being there no matter how many jobs you worked. And it seems like we just had this bond. Like no matter how big the stadium was, no matter how big the gym was, no matter how many fans were in there, I could always hear your voice out there. Yours and maybe Mr. Ferris is telling John to shoot the ball, But we'll say that for another day. But I just want to let you know that I appreciate you, I love you, and I hope that I have and I continue to make you proud of me. You may be seated. I'm extremely honored, appreciative, and blessed to have the opportunity to be placed in the Hall of Fame as a first ballot inductee. A goal that I set at the age of 13, I don't even know if it was a Hall of Fame at the time. This induction is not about me, and I'll be selfish even if I took half of the credit. This is the end result of God perfectly lining up so many people, situations, and opportunities throughout my life. This is for anybody who allowed me to play basketball in the driveways in the backyard, anybody who allowed me to play basketball on their Nerf courts in their homes, or at their gym. This is for anybody who played with or against me in football on Reed Street, the field on Columbus Ave in Monroe. This is for any teachers. This is for any fans. This is for any cheerleaders. This is for anybody who ever came to a game and cheered us on during victory and consoled us in time of defeat. This is for every teammate we've ever played against who forced us to bring our A game week in and week out. That's what this is for. You put all these people, you put all these places, and you put all these situations together, and the end result is me standing before you today, preparing to get inducted into this Hall of Fame. And although it'll be my name placed on that nameplate in the Hall of Fame, know that I take my family and the entire city of Sandusky down that hall with me, because I did it all for you. Thank you.
Thank you.